Two. Hey everyone here on Facebook, all my family and friends. I'm back with Mike Warren as promised last week. And you know, Mike, I gotta watch because we get so carried away in the conversations. I look down and I go, oh, why is the timer going off? Oh, I got a Facebook Live show, you idiot.
Yeah.
So, not you, but me. I'm the idiot.
No.
As you know. So I get so engrossed in conversations with you that I forget we're supposed to go live. So what I put up today, and I want to hear all about the conference that you went to this weekend and what we were just talking about because it's fascinating. But I also wanted to make mention up quick. Here's one of the things that I'm realizing, Michael, recovering from what I've been going through of late. And let me just say, when you look at some of the ailments other people are subject to, I am in no way saying that my condition is greater than theirs. Mine happened to be a brain tumor. It could have been a tumor anywhere on me, right? It just so happens it's a brain tumor. Just so happens that I've had more holes drilled in my head than most people have in their bowling balls of late. But one of the things that I've started to focus on, and I wrote it in the topic, the difference between health scare and health care. In the debates going on today, everyone talks about the healthcare system. Well, we have a child care system. That doesn't mean you're betting on your children being hurt while they're at child care. So when you look at healthcare, doesn't mean that it's something negatively that's going to happen to you. It doesn't have to mean that. So I've started separating the difference between healthcare, which is something you do proactively, before you get to a health scare, where you have to run to a doctor or an emergency room or the like. So one of the things that I dig about my conversations with you is that I get to focus a little more on the preventative stuff, be a little more proactive, in hopes of beating back, because we can say a lot of things about Brian Brawdy, but no one can disagree with this one thing. I am a walking, talking medical precondition, right? So no matter what happens to me in the future, the insurance company's going to go, oh, you have a pre-existing condition. Mm-hmm. So I know that about me. So what I'm hoping to do with these videos and our interviews, and if anyone has any questions, feel free to jump in. What I'm hoping to do is, because I'm going to be in that pool of people that has a pre-existing condition, what can I do to limit the possibility of me having to visit a doctor in the future? What can I do proactively to help? And I said today, if you could take a selfie of your immune system, what would it look like? And I love talking to you because you continually remind me that your immune system is dialed in, firing on all cylinders. Even the email that you sent me this morning, it's firing on all cylinders when these little pathogens try to invade. There's nothing necessarily wrong with us that our immune system can't handle. It's just we work so hard to depress our immune system through what we eat, what we drink, what we breathe in, how we act, how much sleep we get, that we're really handcuffing, we're really hamstringing our immune system at a time in human age where we need it more so possibly than ever before.
Absolutely right. And you know, it's interesting that you brought up a couple different subjects there. You talked about healthcare and doing what you can prior to getting sick. Well, if you look at our healthcare, the way it's been devised and the way it's been implemented over the last really about 100 to 120 years, where the AMA came in and they went through this whole symptom-based medicine. You got a headache, you go get a pill.
Sure.
You got something wrong with your liver, you go get a pill. Or you do surgery or whatever it is. But we don't do anything. We have no accountability. They've told us that trust us, come to us when you're sick, and the rest of the time you're happy and fat. And I say that literally also because the toxins that they're giving us, all the blood pressure medicines and all the regular cholesterol medicines and all this nonsense, which in a lot of cases is just that, it's nonsense, and statin drugs being one of the biggest things. And I'm not here to talk bad about it. I'm just trying to give the example that because we've been, since we're children,
conditioned.
We've been conditioned. We go to the doctor when we're sick. We don't worry about taking care of our bodies so that we don't have to go to the doctor, because they want you to come to them. They want to keep you in that mill, in that grind where you're just constantly being sick. And they give you one pill and it does one effect and it does it well, but it has 30 side effects. So now you got a side effect from this pill. You got to go in and get another pill to take care of the side effect for that pill. It starts compounding itself, and it just gets out of control real fast.
Meanwhile, your immune system's got to be going, what the hell is going on?
And that's the problem with it, Brian.
Tune in to be able to do this.
Right.
That's why I was talking to an author the other day who I'm hoping can jump in at some point with us in the future. And she kind of concurred with something that I had said a long time ago, in that if you're constantly looking for success, right? Oh, I have a success journal, or I'm going to set goals so I can be successful.
Right.
Well, if you're constantly looking for success, the precursor to that is that you're a failure firsthand. So if you're looking to go, oh, one day I hope to be a success, well, what are you now?
Yeah, right.
Right? So, well, I hope not to get sick. Well, look at your immune system. If your immune system is already perfect, and these pathogens, right, these little invaders, when I was a cop in New York, we used to wear bulletproof vests because you wanted to make sure that if someone threw a projectile downrange, that the vest would stop the projectile. Well, how many projectiles do we have today when it comes to the bulletproof vest that is your immune system? I saw something the other day. You got to watch the carpets you're walking on. They don't want you breathing air inside of an airplane. You got to watch what you eat, what you drink, food dyes and artificial colorings and genetically modified foods. Our poor immune systems have got to be going, wait a minute, I thought I had a tag team partner here, right? Yep. If you're married and your significant other were to constantly berate you the way we berate our own immune systems, we wouldn't stay in our relationships very long. Absolutely. Our immune system's got to be going, what the heck are you trying to pull?
Yep. No, that's absolutely true. Absolutely true, Brian. Our immune system can be and should be our best friend. You know what? I'll take it back a step. It is unconditionally our best friend. It's like your favorite little dog. I love dogs, so I equate to that. They unconditionally love you. Your immune system unconditionally loves you. You can beat the crap out of it by drinking alcohol, by eating trans fats, by taking all kinds of medicines that are just toxins that you're pouring in your body. And your immune system will just sit there and just say, yep, give it to me. I love you. I'm sorry you're killing me. I'm sorry you're ruining me, but I love you.
You know what, Michael? It's like the Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah.
Who was the one that got the kidnap? Patty Hearst, allegedly. Right. You have to forgive me. I don't know if I'm remembering it correctly, but the Stockholm Syndrome, where you fall in love with your captive.
Yes.
Well, here's our immune system. We're holding it captive. We're tying both of its hands behind its back. And the immune system's, like you said, like a dog wagging its tail. Give me more, give me more, give me more.
Right.
So that, to me, was the biggest lesson that I learned from you, other than the 4-second rule of when you take a topical. When you're supposed to ingest a medication and you put it on your tongue, that if you can hold it there for 4 minutes, it passes the blood-brain barrier a lot quicker than if you swallow it.
Yes.
But this whole concept of you're already good enough, you're already successful enough, you're already well-grounded enough, your immune system is ready to go. It's just looking for a little bit of freaking help.
Yep. And how do you help it?
Great question. How do you?
You give it what it needs.
Yep.
And that is proper nutrition, proper exercise, all those different things that we know we should do that we don't. And we try and eliminate so there's things we have to do. The first one starts with what we put in our mouth. It's just that simple. Nutrition is the place to start. And then you start doing the other things. Well, it's a two-edged sword. It's what you put into your body. It's also what you don't put into your body. Sure. And a lot of us, unfortunately, we just go through our day because we've been conditioned that it's fine to go through McDonald's and grab a burger and some fries, and all those things are just horrible. So now so if you think of your immune system in your body like a bucket, this bucket, this 55-gallon drum, if you can imagine, about a third of the way up, we'll put the holes, it's got holes in it, so that what you put down goes through, and it goes through your waste system and out your body, and your body is, again, amazing designed vessel to house all kinds of crap that we do to it. But after a certain point, if you can imagine a 55-gallon drum and it's got holes poked in it around, so that if you're pouring stuff in it, it goes down into the tube, and then when it gets to a certain level, it starts coming out.
Sure.
Well, if you're putting crap,
right.
I almost used another word, sorry. But if you're just pouring crap in this 55-gallon drum as fast as you can, the holes, the natural releases in the body, our digestive system, our sweat glands, all those things that we detoxify normally from, if we're putting in more than what can come out at one time, that bucket is going to overflow, or that 55-gallon drum is going to overflow. When it overflows, you are in trouble.
And Mike, is that inflammation? I hear all this stuff now about what we eat or what we breathe or what we drink in terms of the body. It's not intended for inflammation to run roughshod over you. It's intended for inflammation to come in little fits and starts, but not stick with you 24/7. Is that bucket overflowing then what leads to other
absolutely things? It's one of them, because inflammation in and of itself, Brian, is a good part of the immune system. So you cut yourself and it gets inflamed. Well, that's the body's way of sending the nutrients, sending the blood flow, sending different things to that site to help revive and close back up the cut, if you will. The same thing is if you get a headache, that's inflammation. Well, there's a reason that you've got that inflammation. It can be a good thing. When you get sick, you get a fever. And what do? We're conditioned to take Tylenol, which will give you a heart attack, and it's terrible for your immune system. It's more toxins, but it does the one thing that you're asking it to. It's getting rid of your fever. Well, guess what? Our bodies are designed to have fevers because heat kills pathogens. That's why we have fevers. Heat therapy is one of the newer technologies that we're finding that is alternative, if you will, that modern medicine doesn't use to shrink tumors. Because guess what? Cancer can't live over, I think it's 101 or 102. And when you can take heat and direct it at a tumor, you can kill the tumor with heat. So anyway, there's nothing to that. Again, our bodies are perfectly designed to take care and heal themselves. It's just we've dumped so much crap into our bucket with glyphosates and just, you name it, pesticides and everything else that we spray all over our food. When we eat those guys, they go right into our system. They're right into our bodies now. We can't undo that toxin once we put it in there. We can help it get out by detoxing and other tools. But the point is that we put so much crap into it that our bodies are on overload, and it almost like if you go into a room and you've got to do something, you go into a big shopping center, let's say, and there's a big sale on an item that you want, and the line's all the way out the door to get it. The door's open and everybody runs in there and just decimates the place. Well, that's what's happening in our body, and you don't even get what you wanted to go in there for. And what do we want? We want homeostasis. We want our bodies to act normal. We want it to go good. So that's one of the things that you just got to understand about your body. So you asked the question.
Like, if I could interrupt, I think also our minds work the same way. We're busy philosophically ingesting all these opinions. Oh, what does this news organization have to say? Or what does this blog post say? Or, all these other things. That we ingest these things in our mind, which if we're normally adjusted and have a great sense of who we are as an individual, it's like our immune system. You can go, okay, great. Which is why I call them self-help industry tactics. Right. If there's nothing wrong with you, to say, well, I'm going to be successful one day means you're a sack of crapola now.
Yeah.
So when you take it, though, away from the brain and you take it to the body and you look at your immune system, well, I'll be healthy one day. Well, your immune system's already trying. So I don't want to get carried away because we talk every time about 20-minute optimization. And I know you had a 30-day class this weekend, which is why I almost got sidetracked when we were before the show. So tell us quickly about that, because I'd like to have a future show. And while you do that, I'm going to type alternative health concepts so that people, if they haven't gotten the free ebook yet, they can log into this website that I'm going to put up on the screen and get the free ebook, because it was just a wealth a wealth of information.
Yeah, awesome. So I went to the seminar. It was a business seminar, actually, Brian. It wasn't really on the health benefits, but it was all about the cannabis industry and what's happening in our world today, particularly here in the United States with regard to cannabis. I've done a lot of research on it. I've used cannabis myself. My wife has with her cancer, and it, like our product BioPro Plus, is an amazing thing. Not many people understand. In fact, I would suggest that less than 5% of medical doctors, MDs in the United States today, even know about a system that is innate and built into our bodies, much like our immune system, that's called the endocannabinoid system. Now, I was at my chiropractor no longer than 4 months ago, and he asked me a question how I was feeling today, and I said, hey, I'm feeling great. I just charged up my endocannabinoid system. He said, your endocannabinoid, he just went, what? Like a big, what are you talking about? And I had to explain it to him. And this is a chiropractor. This is a guy that is in the alternative world, if you will, because chiropractors are looked at by a lot of the MD, the American Medical Association, as quacks and don't know what they're doing. They have no benefit. But so I wanted to share with you, and I know we don't have a lot of time right now, and we'll get into it maybe in a later version, but your body has this system, which is amounts to receptors, just like all of our cells have receptors. And we have this system that the receptors are looking for cannabinoids. Cannabinoids are the different molecules in the cannabis plant that are broken down, and there's well over 100 cannabinoids in a cannabis plant. Now, we only know of maybe 20 or 30 of what they can do. The ones everybody hears about, they get high, they smoke a little weed, and they get high. That's THC.
And we're not talking about that.
No, we're not. Well, we are and we aren't. So
Okay.
I brought that up because there's another one out there called CBD, and that's another cannabinoid. And the interesting thing is, Brian, that our body produces cannabinoids. Now, if we take an outside system and we have these receptors, CB1s and CB2s, and they're in different, almost all cells, but certain cells have different receptors. So the brain has different receptors. The brain cells have different receptors than maybe your heart cell or your heart cells would, or different organs. So I'm not going to get into all the things, but just understand that we have receptors in our cell, so that when we take in cannabinoids, different molecules within the cannabis plant, our body recognizes them, and our whole system is set up similar to the immune system, okay, to create homeostasis, or a well-being in our body, where instead of our body going like this, it kind of goes like this. Okay. And everything works and you're healthy. It has to do with your immune system, all these different things. CBD is one of the things that they're finding out have great therapeutic benefits from taking CBD. And we'll get into more of that, but I just want to let people know that, it's legal in all 50 states. You have to get a good source. And the one thing you do need to get, or kind of insist upon when you're doing your research about CBDs, is that they need to be a whole plant extract. Because our modern scientific world, in fact, the US government holds a patent on different synthetic cannabinoids. The problem is, when you take a cannabinoid and you don't use the whole plant, all those other cannabinoids that we don't even know about are doing some wonderful things together, and they work synergistically together. So there are whole plant extracts that are completely legal in all 50 states of CBD that you can take. I can tell you, I take a tincture every day, and similar to our BioPro, I put it under my tongue, and those I let it sit in there for 4 minutes.
4 minutes, I love that, right?
Yeah, yep. And and then just take it. Well, here's the thing. I'm almost 60 years old. I've got knee joint pain and that kind of stuff occasionally. I can tell you, since I started taking the CBDs, a CBD. There's not CBDs, it's not plural, but when I started taking CBD, that pain went away. I do not have pain in my knee anymore. Now, if I get a headache, I go and jump right to my little bottle of CBD. I put it under my tongue. My headache's gone in usually 5 minutes, because instantaneously I'm getting it right into my blood system. So it works much faster than taking an aspirin or a Tylenol or anything else like that. And it's much more effective, and it's all natural, and there's no side effects. Zero side effects.
Other than it's what it's intended to do, other than what the receptors do when it when you buy the homeostasis. And maybe, Mike, we can talk about that in a future one. We got to get ready to run now, because I'm hoping we can hold these to 20 minutes so that as people come on, they can go, oh, I have 1/72 of my day. But I put alternative-health-concepts, right, the thing up on the screen, .com. Go and get the free ebook if you don't have it already. And then maybe in a subsequent show, Michael, we can talk about the CBD oil.
Yep.
And kind of catch everyone up to speed, and then get some, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that think, oh, well, it must be THC, it must be that. But if it's legal in all 50 states, and most of the medicines that pharmaceutical companies would rather us be addicted to, most of them eventually, or way back when, came from the studying of plants, right, of different things that occur in nature, occur naturally. And that's why I love saying, whether it's a big bang or big breath, you believe in science or God, we still come from the earth. And that if there's anything that's going to cure what ails us, it's got to be from the earth as well. It's got to be from the same dirt that we came from.
Absolutely.
And whether you think we walked off the savannas of Africa or we were evicted from the Garden of Eden, we still walked off on that same dirt.
Yep, absolutely.
In the battle between science and religion, we can find some common ground. And some of the things that scientists are learning now about those plants that grow in that common dirt, same dirt we did, shouldn't be a shock to anybody. That, oh, wow, it's good for us. That shouldn't surprise anyone. No more so than going out and getting some early morning sun is good for vitamin D production in your body, right?
Absolutely. Necessary.
So, Mike, one more time, Alternative Health Concepts. I see you put it up there. Go on, head over, get the free ebook. It's got all kinds of great information, and then we'll look forward to hanging out with you next week. Mike, any parting words before we go?
You know what? I just want to leave one little quote from you I found. In 1902, Thomas Edison said, "There were never so many able, active minds at work on the problems of disease as now, and their discoveries are tending toward the simple truth that you can't improve on nature." Very, very profound. And,
very humbling for most of us, and then the rest of us are thinking, well, man works to beat back nature.
Yes.
Well, we're not beating it back at all. It's nature's going to thrive regardless, which is why I love George Carlin's thing. When he talked about all these different things, like we're going to beat tectonic plate shifts and volcanoes and all these other things, right? Hurricanes. So I'm with you. Leave us some comments here if you know anything about what we're going to be discussing next week in these oils and the like, or if you have any questions for Mike as it comes to Alternative Health Concepts, leave us the questions ahead of time, and we'll go ahead and get them answered. All right, Mike, I want to try to be respectful of everyone's schedule, so we're going to get out of here, and I'll look forward to hanging out with you next week.
Awesome. I look forward to it, too.
All right, Mike,
thanks
always.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Thanks, everybody.